What do you get if you order Terminator from Temu, add a sprinkle of Sylvester Stallone's over the top,
The winner never listens to the odds.
and make it with less budget than a can of Coke and some chips? You get Hands of Steel. The Italian version of Terminator. It's an exploitation masterpiece from the 1980s, including all the things you'd expect from an Italian ripoff. It even stars the legendary John Saxon in a supporting role as one of the villains. It's great fun. How's it, guys, and welcome to Cult Action Reviews. Today we're going to talk about the exploitation masterpiece that is Hands of Steel. The film opens by establishing its grim future, plagued by environmental decay. Apparently the whole world looks like Detroit in the 1980s. Is that Stalin asking if you have no future? Yeah, that's how you can tell that this is dystopian. Actually, that's not Stalin. His name is Mosley. He's actually an environmental activist that's trying to save the world from the brink of environmental collapse. A collapse that's summed up by this guy here.
4 microcuries per square foot within a 10-mile radius of the KSD's dump site.
You know what that means? This morning alone, at least 40 more people in this zone will contract a terminal disease.
And I can see that our FBI agent believes this science gobbledygook as much as I do.
The least Mosley could have done is to take a place more appropriate for his headquarters.
Stop pointing out your lack of budget, guys. Does you no favors.
This isn't a publicity stunt, Inspector.
Yes, indeed, this is a very grim future painted here. Climate change is killing the planet, corporations have almost unlimited control, and the world is on the brink of collapse. Isn't it great that things are well, moving on. Actually, here he looks more like Fidel Castro than Stalin. Ah yes, the future, when all our typewriters will have infrared remote controls. High-tech stuff here. This is how you introduce an 80s hero, especially one with hands of steel. The calculator watch is especially necessary for heroes. Have you ever tried to do maths without a calculator? Yeah, see? Great stuff. This guy's actually a cyborg assassin that's been made by the villains to track down and kill Mosley. And he's our hero, so you know he's gonna have a change of heart at some point. See, the fat cat corporations want Mosley gone because Mosley is trying to shut them down to save the world. But they just want to make a profit. So they send this guy in. They really should have frisked his Hands of Steel here. An almost shot-for-shot remake of the police station scene from Terminator. Look at him doing his best Arnie impression. Isn't it cute?
I'll be back.
Doesn't take long for this film to live up to its title. But, of course, our hero has second thoughts about killing Mosley despite the insistent voiceover.
Neutralize. Neutralize.
Too bad he didn't have these second thoughts when he was faced with the poor assistant, who he just whacked immediately. And although it looks like he kills Mosley here, he doesn't. He pulls his punches, so to speak, and just wounds the guy. But now the alarm sounds, and our hero, Paco, must flee. And yeah, they never check the sewers, do they? It's explained later that this is some kind of power conduit thing that people can't survive. So the FBI doesn't think he survived his escape. Still, they don't know he's a cyborg. But now, Paco is on the run. He's gone rogue. And we learn this in an extended, boring computer scene, where a couple of guys walk into a room, type on a keyboard, and then watch a computer printout for a couple of minutes. This long, pretty dull scene establishes that our bad guys took Paco the soldier and turned him into a cyborg killing machine. That's never gone wrong for any bad guy in the history of the world before. I'd say your computer is wrong about reliability and negative characteristics though.
This is no damn help.
I love it when a movie says what I'm thinking.
There's gotta be something wrong.
And now John Saxon turns up to teach everyone how to act.
My reputation personally and that of my friends. If the FBI find Paco Quarak and trace him to us, we're finished.
Doesn't work though.
And right now we're developing a thorough character profile to determine which way he might be headed.
Ah yes, you've built a very thorough psychological profile, including where he was born, his name, his personal details, and his apparent really good reliability and lack of negative traits.
This is no damn help.
These guys are hardly the criminal profilers from Criminal Minds, are they? After a lot, and I do mean about 10 minutes of travel filler, our hero finds refuge at an arm wrestling dive bar. As you can see, it's a really classy place. Yeah, this place looks like the obvious place to hide. But there's an attractive woman who runs it. And in Italian films from the 80s, that meant a lot.
Looking for a place to stay.
Come in.
And by now, it's 22 minutes into the movie, and you'll probably be wondering, where's the action? Where's the excitement? Where's the very Terminator ripoff stuff? But just you wait. There are a couple scenes in this movie towards the end that actually make it worth watching if you enjoy this kind of stupidity.
You ever arm wrestle?
No.
It's a big deal around here. Those are the champs of the past 10 years.
Do arm wrestling crazy towns like this exist at all?
I need a place to stay for a couple of days.
Sure. And in exchange, you help me out around here until you cut my throat. And take off with the few bucks I got in the till.
I could have done that already.
Okay, I'll take that chance.
Ah yes, sounds logical. Besides, this man looks so harmless. Linda here wants our hero to chop wood in exchange for room and board, and she takes him to the wood pile. But I have no idea why the wood pile is also the trash pile. You would think they could have separated the two, since I don't think that plastic chair will make a very good fire. Well, it might, but it'll choke you out with toxic fumes first. I'm beginning to see why the Earth's environment in this movie is so messed up. Linda expects our hero to take all day chopping that wood, but he's got hands of steel, remember? He does it in 6 hours. Which really impresses her. His wood chopping skills are on point. And meanwhile, in case you're interested, the bad guys are sending in super duper bad ass assassin after our hero. You know, the usual. As this movie goes on, it'll keep cutting away from our hero at the bar with Linda to what the bad guys in the FBI are doing. And most of it is complete filler, complete nonsense, not worth watching. You can safely skip these parts. But they had to get it up to 1 hour and 30 minutes somehow. Meanwhile, the FBI is questioning Mosley as to what weapon our hero used against him. And they say this.
It wasn't especially large, but it felt hard. Extremely hard.
The dubbing guys had to know. This has to be an in-joke, surely?
You come up with anything?
According to the computer, this is what the weapon used against Mosley looks like.
Any idea what it can be?
Yeah, I've got a few ideas as to what that could be.
Thank you.
Later on, Linda is hassled by an arm wrestling trucker sex pest, because this is an 80s movie. Our hero's sex pest radar goes off, and he wakes up and rushes to help Linda. And after some cutting remarks,
if you're a man, prove it. If you're shitting in your pants, clean your ass with this.
Oh, that's a good one.
and some more hassling of Linda, our hero gets another chance to show off his hands of steel. Of course, to do this, he also breaks Linda's bar. But this is an 80s movie, and any collateral damage to prove that the hero is cool is warranted. Now Paco has to arm wrestle the sex pest to preserve Linda's honor. And it's about here you'll notice that the dialogue in this movie is kind of terrible.
When I get through with you, you're gonna have to wipe your ass with your nose.
Fuck you.
But one thing I do love is how committed this movie is to making an arm wrestling competition into a Sergio Leone-esque Western gunfight. There are close-ups, swelling of music, sweat on the face, and all the things you'd expect from a Sergio Leone gunfight. If you're gonna steal from someone, steal from the best, eh? You can see that this director directed a few spaghetti westerns of his own in his time. And of course, Paco beats the sex pest Raul in the arm wrestling competition because, remember the title? But everyone is shocked.
Jesus Christ!
And Raul is so pissed off that he decides to defend his honor, he must fight. It doesn't go very well for him. I love how the film is so dedicated to the Hands of Steel bit that during this fairly decent fight scene, the hero does stuff like this. And this. To show off its commitment to the title. The only really weird moment is this. What happened here? Did the stunt guy forget his cues and fall over too early? Of course, he wins the fight because he's a cyborg and all these guys are just human, so he's technically cheating, and Linda suffers even more property damage. I wonder how much this is costing her. To be fair, it doesn't matter to Linda because she likes muscles and violence. Put a shirt on, man. You could have someone's eye out with those things.
Oh, here. This is for you.
How about we wrestle Indian style?
Loser's hand gets bit by a rattlesnake. What do you say?
Okay, Raul is certifiably insane. He lost an arm wrestling match and he's acting like our hero killed his goldfish or something.
The name's Anatola Blanco.
Undisputed tri-state champion.
Regardless, a new arm wrestling match with the state champ is set up. The stakes are high here, guys. Really, really high. Linda is understandably worried because...
Paco, he's so big. You'll never beat him.
But she also doesn't know that our hero has hands of steel.
Extremely hard.
The fact that this arm wrestling match is gonna end with someone being bitten by a highly venomous snake, are these people right in the head? The more I watched this movie, the more I thought, you know what? No one in this movie is.
This one's full of poison too, and raring to go.
One thing I do love, however, is the fact that this movie spends the opening 10 or 15 minutes setting up the fact that the future is grim. There's only one hope for humanity, and it's Mosley, who's going to stop the companies ravaging the environment and save the world's future. But by the 30-minute mark, that's all gone, and the stakes have become, if our hero doesn't win this arm wrestling match, he's going to get bitten by a snake on his hands of steel. He's a cyborg. What does it matter? Of course he's going to win the sodding arm wrestling match. He is cheating. But I do love the film's commitment to this bit because they're building it up as if world-ending stakes are somehow lower down the list than winning an arm wrestling match to save Linda's bar. But before the match with the state champ can happen, Linda gets a call. There are some kids in peril, and Linda's the only one with a tow truck that can pull them out. Paco volunteers to go instead, so he races to the scene to save the kids. But it turns out to be an elaborate plot by Raul to stop Paco from participating in the arm wrestling match with the state champ that Raul himself made up. Dude, you lost an arm wrestling match. In the grand scheme of things, this is not that important, you absolute psychopath.
I'll show you.
Actually, they're all psychopaths. This guy came here to save kids, and all these guys are laughing as he gets dragged behind a tow truck. And this led to a legitimately harrowing scene where I was actually worried about the stunt guy. I mean, look at this. And then we cut to this.
I want to see how you beat Blanco tonight.
What the heck, Raul? You crazy son of a bitch. You just lost at arm wrestling, man. Your dick can't be that small. Surely. Screw MMA. Screw all the combat sports in the world. Arm wrestling is legitimately the world's most dangerous sport. I mean, look at this. Paco escapes and races back to the bar for the big match. And as you can see, they've already set up the rattlesnakes. Man, arm wrestling in this movie makes blood sports kumite look like a prance through the daisies. These people are all insane. Every single one of them. Paco has stumbled into Never Never Land of crazy psychopaths.
I told you he was a chicken shit.
You know the truth, Raul.
And how boring is it in this town that an arm wrestling match gets everyone clamoring for action like there's no other entertainment?
I want to see some action here.
Me too, huh?
Yeah, how about it?
You'll see some action. Don't worry about it.
But of course, Paco wins the match because he's a cyborg, and once again, I have to stress this, is cheating. Thankfully, however, he does save the big guy from getting bitten by a snake. So he may have cheated, but he's not going to let this poor sod die because he cheated. But as usual, Paco doesn't look very happy about any of it. Now we finally get a look at his cybernetic enhancements in this very Terminator-like scene. I actually quite like this because the SFX here aren't brilliant, but they are pretty cool. And Linda knocks on the door, and of course this happens. 80s movies. Paco looks as happy making out with a beautiful woman as he does about everything else. He does show her something though.
Please don't be afraid.
Damn, I've never seen one do that before. I'm kidding, despite the way this is cut, he tells her he's a cyborg. And this brings up a point for me. The reason the Terminator had no emotions was because he was a robot. He was a robot with human skin on the outside. No human emotions, no humanity. Paco here is a cyborg. The film is telling us that Paco was a human being before he was turned into a cyborg. So the actor can emote. He can do something rather than this blank, bored-ass expression he has throughout the whole film. He looks like he's holding in a really smelly fart the entire time. No emotion whatsoever. And thanks to Raul, who is legitimately the craziest person in this film, the big baddies find out where Paco is hiding. But they don't attack yet, because they've got a very elaborate plan to put into action that involves these two on the bike as decoys, helicopters coming to the scene, Raul himself, and a cling wrap skirt for some reason.
Come on, leave my ear alone, right?
What a grouch. Come on, darling. Just scream.
I love how they were so convinced he'd come through a door when there's a really obvious window right behind them. One of the baddies does go through the door though. Paco's shot up, Linda is stabbed, there are more baddies on the way, and now things get 80s action movie. It's revealed that cling wrap skirt girl is actually another cyborg.
I am the perfect cyborg.
And the ensuing fight is friggin' hilarious. It's filled with great moments, guys. The noises a cyborg girl makes are a huge part of why this is so entertaining. She sounds like a friggin' chicken.
Kill that traitor!
And what makes a nice change from most of these movies, Linda actually handles herself quite well in the fight scenes. That's not a given in 80s movies. Sometimes they just made the woman sit in the corner and scream. Because, you know, sexist attitudes.
Paco, there's another one here!
They will destroy you.
Perfect cyborg, huh? Course you are. Sadly, after that ridiculously entertaining fight scene, we get 5 minutes of people shooting at each other and missing each other. Even though, you know, they're standing out in the open, typical action movie stuff. But then Paco gets lucky and takes out one of the bad guys, hops in a car with Linda, and they race off. This leads straight into a helicopter versus car chase. And it's fairly well done, but about as exciting as I find these things in general. Mid. Raoul turns up, of course he does.
Paco, there's a truck ahead!
He can see it's a truck, Linda. It's the only thing in the friggin' road. And after some crashing and bashing, Raoul finally gets his comeuppance in hilarious fashion.
Oh, you're dead!
Before the state champ arm wrestler from earlier turns up to save the two of them, Linda seemingly gets away. But for some reason, instead of just blowing up Paco, who's standing right there, Saxon decides to go after the truck with Linda in it. And blows it the heck up. This, of course, really pisses off our hero.
Oh! Linda! Come on, you bastards!
Paco thinks Linda is dead, so he flees the scene. Linda actually survived that explosion somehow. It's implied that she jumped.
Jump out, Linda! Come on, get out!
No.
You got it! It's your only chance! Jump, Linda!
We're going too fast!
I don't know, plot armor, I guess. Saxon chases our hero all the way to Italy. And the reason this is just a completely different location is because John Saxon refused to film any scenes in the US when he was working on this film. It's because this film was a non-SAG union film. So Saxon shot all his scenes in Italy. That's why for the hero and Saxon to meet, our hero has to travel all the way to Italy for the final showdown. But because Paco is now underground in an industrial plant that's probably been used for about 1,000 Italian ripoff movies, Saxon has to land his chopper and send bikers in after the cyborg. This leads to a couple of hilarious moments like this. And this. That are just really entertaining. Unfortunately, it all ends with a pretty lackluster laser battle where Saxon picks up the laser, shoots at our cyborg a couple of times, misses obviously, hits once, and then dies pretty unceremoniously. But at least the movie keeps up the commitment to the bit and has Saxon die by hands of steel.
Extremely hard.
Paco, believing Linda dead, thinks he has nothing to live for, so he gets in a brief shootout with the cops.
I said hold your fire! The only problem is that he doesn't want to hold his.
Before Linda arrives.
Linda, you must give yourself up. No one will hurt you.
No! Linda's dead! You're not Linda!
No, she's alive, Paco.
Paco, where are you?
Linda, no. Linda's alive.
No, I don't believe it either, my friend.
Look at this, Linda. Oh, God.
Jeez, girl, You could have handled that with a bit more tact. Now, we're a couple minutes away from the end, and I thought I knew where this was going to go. Linda was going to come in, convince him to give himself up, the cops weren't going to press charges because he was being manipulated, all ending happily. But this film pulled the rug out from under me and had one of the dumbest endings I've ever seen in my life. I mean, check this out.
Maybe Paco Quirak never even existed.
And that's where it ends. On that title screen. Were the filmmakers insane? Did they just run out of film? What the heck is this? It comes out of left field. We only meet one other cyborg in this entire film.
I am the perfect cyborg.
The whole time it's implied that Paco was actually a dude turned into a cyborg, and now they're trying to make it out that he's the Terminator? Really the Terminator? What the heck? And this thing about cyborgs taking over the world. What? All friggin' one of them? Just Paco? Or did they make 1 million more and we just didn't see them? And did the bad guys not think that sending their entire army of cyborgs after Paco was a good idea? Did they just think, we'll send one, that's about it? What the heck is this? It just comes out of left field and drives me pretty insane and leaves a bad taste in my mouth after the rest of this fairly entertaining movie. No! Ugh. Well, stupid ending aside, that was Hands of Steel. It's the rip-off movie to end all rip-off movies. Whoever thought adding arm wrestling into the Terminator would make it better was kind of right. Makes it quite fun. This was a decent watch, and after last time Simon Says, I really needed a good one, and this provided. It has some really slow and dull moments, some filler, but the entertaining bits vastly make up for the really dull bits. And it's never too boring for too long. It's actually quite an entertaining watch, and one that you should definitely seek out.
I want to see some action here.
Me too, huh?
Yeah,
Well, I hope you liked this week's edition of Cult Action Reviews. If you did, leave me a like or a comment, or if you like, maybe subscribe to the channel. Whatever you want to do, just keep enjoying action movies, because you know, they're great fun, and they're really fun to laugh at. See you next time, guys.